sweet music. He has a voice from heaven, and the ladies love him. I'm hanging out with NeYo tonight. Thank you so much for making time to talk.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
So let me begin with asking you, what was your first stage name and why NeYo?
First stage name was not as cool as NeYo, if NeYo's a cool stage name. No, my first stage name was Go-Go. It was a childhood nickname that just kind of followed me. It was something my mom gave to me. Not proud of it. But NeYo was actually a name that was given to me by a producer friend of mine. It's a reference from the movie The Matrix. He used to say stuff like, I could do things within music that regular people couldn't do, much like NeYo could do things within The Matrix that regular people couldn't do, if you remember the film. So, again, a nickname that I did not like initially. I thought it was a little corny, a little cheesy, but, you know, one person calls you something and somebody else, and then it just carries on. And
incredible performances. So how do you psych yourself before a performance? What do you do? What's your ritual?
I don't really have much of a ritual. I mean, you know, me and the band and the dancers, we get together and say a quick prayer, just thanking God for the opportunity and whatnot, and then get out there and do what we do. We have a chant that we say, who you got coming to the stage? NeYo. And where do we live? On stage. And then we get out there and we do what we do.
Right. So how many years in the industry?
Oh man. Well, next year, February, we'll make 10 years. 10 years from my first album. So that's not how many years I've been in the business, but that's 10 years from my very first album to now.
Artist as big as yourself, when did you know that you finally arrived? When did you know that I've made it?
Oh man, I think that was the day that I met Michael Jackson. Yeah, the day that I stood face to face with Michael Jackson. That was when I officially felt like, okay, I've actually done something noteworthy. I've done something, you know, just worthy of the talent that God has given me.
Did he know any of your songs?
He did, actually. His first words to me were, you know what my favorite song of yours is? And then he sang, it's a song of mine called Go On Girl. And he started singing it to me. And I almost screamed like a little girl. I didn't. I almost did. I got real close, but I held my composure. I was like, that's cool, Mike. But inside, I was like, ah! Not a feeling in my chest. Baby, I'm feeling no stress. I'm too fly to be
depressed. So did you grow up listening to Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
One of your favorites?
Definitely. Michael Jackson, Prince. Was a huge fan of the Rat Pack initially, you know, Sammy Davis Jr. especially. He was the one that looked like me. Let me see, a lot of you know, soul music and R&B initially, but my mom had a very vast, what's the word I'm looking for? She was very diverse in her musical taste. So it went from soul music to hip hop to country music to big band sound, like a little bit of everything.
And I read you up somewhere, and you said you hated your voice growing up. Is that true?
Yeah, man, I hated it because I wanted to sound like the people that my mom used to listen to. You know, my mom was a huge fan of, like, you know, the OJs and the Temptations and just, you know, these kind of thick and husky voices, and I didn't have that as a kid. I had a really small, nasally kind of voice. You know, I sounded like a girl till I was about. Oh yeah, I sounded like a girl till I was like 16. Yeah. So I hated singing because I couldn't sound like the people. My mom's my hero, by the way, and so I wanted to sound like the people that she liked. So she would like my voice too, but you know, I didn't. So it was her that introduced me to Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, and she told me to kind of study the way that they use their instrument to help me get more comfortable with my own. So there I sit.
And you have a special way with the ladies, your music. You know, a lot of it empowers women, celebrates women. Mm-hmm. Does that come from perhaps the relationship you have with your mother? You said that your mom is your hero. She got a routine. That's why I love her. Missing independent, the way you shine. Missing independent.
Part of it is fear that any disrespect of any women, my mom will come and get me and beat me within inches of my life. No, but I grew up in a house full of women. There was my mother, my grandmother, my sister, and about 5 aunts, and me, till I was about 16. So growing up with that many women, from mind you, all walks of life, all different ages, age ranges, or whatever, you learn the strength of a woman, and you learn to respect it and appreciate it.
Only kind of girl I want, independent queen working for her throne. I love her 'cause she got her wrong. She got her wrong.
Now, as an adult, you make mistakes, you do stupid stuff, especially as an adult male. We do a lot of dumb stuff. But the foundation is in utmost respect and appreciation and a love for women.
Let's talk about Nonfiction. What was it inspired by, and what are you talking about in a lot of the songs?
Nonfiction was inspired by something that's kind of been my reality from the beginning of my career. I always write from actual experience. You know, so sick, sexy love, everything up to this 6th album all comes from either my own personal experience or experiences of people close enough to me to tell me a story and graph it in detail. So when I got to the 6th album, I knew I wanted to do something that kind of represented who I am as an artist at this point. And who I am is, you know, I'm not one person when the camera's rolling and then somebody else when the camera goes off. Like, what you see is what you get. But with this album, I wanted to, you know, tell some of my story, you know, because some interesting things had happened to me over that 2 years. But I also wanted to tell my fans' story, give them an opportunity to have their voice heard. So I actually reached out via my social media, Twitter, Instagram, and just started asking people random questions, you know, about their lives and careers and relationships and whatever the case may be. And the stories that I found the most interesting, the most intriguing, I wrote songs about that became songs for the Nonfiction album. So about 50% of the songs on the album are based on stories given to me by the fans. Other 50% is, you know, my own personal stuff.
Managed to stay away from controversy. I don't see a lot of nasty stuff written about you.
I've never been. I wasn't a knucklehead before I got famous, so you know it made no sense for me to become a knucklehead now. You know. Plus, you know, I don't do everything for the cameras. You know, I'm not the guy searching for paparazzi when I'm going out to dinner. Like,
do people do
where
that?
the cameras at? Yeah. I'm not the dude. You know what I mean? If they catch me, they catch me. If they don't, they don't. They normally don't because I don't be where they be. It's just simple as that.
And you've written songs, a lot of songs, you know, for big artists like Beyonce, Rihanna, NeYo. How does it feel to write songs for people and then, you know, have those songs go on to become hits? And then rarely do we ever hear NeYo get credit for some of those hits. How does that feel?
When it's a song that I've done for somebody else, it's not about me. It's not about, hey everybody, that's me, I wrote that. It's about that song and the way that that artist is delivering that song and what that song is making you feel. That's what it's about. So I can't really feel any type of way that my name isn't being shouted out every time a song that I wrote for somebody else plays. Like if it's a song I wrote for Beyonce, Beyonce's name is the name that's supposed to be shouted out because Beyonce is the one delivering the song, making you feel what it is that you feel. You know, I'm the guy behind the guy, and I don't have a problem with that, especially if the song goes on to be a hit. And it's like watching one of my kids do something good.
Yeah, so who really sung the song like you'd have wanted it sung out of all the songs that you've written?
I gotta say that, and this is gonna sound like a little bit of a cop-out, but I have yet to work with anybody who I just didn't like what they did to my music, you know. I'm the type of writer to where I don't want you to do it exactly the way that I wrote it. You know, I want you to kind of take it and do different things to make it yours, to where if nobody knew that I wrote it, they wouldn't know. They would assume that you did because it feels comfortable on you.
You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need.
Right, and what's the best collabo you've ever done, and who would you really love to collabo with?
Oh man, the best collabo I've ever done, that is a better question for the fans. It's so hard for me to pick favorites, man, because every song is attached to a different memory or a different story.
Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard. We work hard, play hard, keep partying like it's your job.
So it gets hard to pick a favorite, but as far as people that I would like to collaborate with, every time I come to a different part of the world and meet a new artist or whatever the case may be, that list just gets a little bit longer. I've met 5 amazing artists since I've been here who I would have no problem getting in the studio and putting something together with. But just to name a couple of people off the top of my head, huge fan of Ed Sheeran, out of the UK. A huge fan of him. Let me see, huge fan of Drake. I like what Drake does. I respect him as a writer. I respect him. I respect the fact that he's kind of carved out his own niche. He sings and raps, which is cool. I want to get in with some of our living legends. Like, we still have iconic, legendary artists that are still alive. Smokey Robinson is still here. Countless hits on that dude.
Are you listening to any African music? What are your thoughts?
The African music that I've heard, I've enjoyed. Definitely enjoyed. I like when you can hear the passion in the voice of whoever it is that's singing or rapping or whatever the case may be, and that is absolutely the case with African music. It's not just I want to make some money, so let me do what's popular right now. Like, you can tell that there's real blood, sweat, and tears that goes into the music that's produced here, and that's what I'm all for. I need to know that, if for whatever reason there was no money in this, that you would still be doing it. Like, those are the kind of artists that I really get into, and it seems like with a lot of the music that I've heard, it seems like that's the case, so I'm all for it.
Okay, so finally, your fashion sense, NeYo. You love the hats. So is this is part of your signature style? Do you ever go without the hat?
Only when I shower or sleep, and if I can get away wearing one in my sleep, I do that.
Why is that?
You know what? Okay, so just in the way of keeping it all the way real, my hair started thinning here when I was young, when I was like before high school, it started thinning, and you know how cruel kids can be. So I was the only kid in my high school that was allowed to wear my hat because I got picked on about it so bad. So it started out as something that, to kind of cover my shame or my embarrassment. But as time progressed and I started realizing that I'm not living my life to please anybody else but myself, I didn't care anymore. I didn't care about this anymore. But I've been wearing hats for so long that I kind of felt naked without one. So now it's just a matter of, my outfit just comes together right with the right hat. Now, it's not that I take the hat off, it's not an issue, but it's just something that has become a part of me now. I told myself that next year I think I might just take the hat off and leave it off for a little while, just so that people will shut up about it. I might do that, but I don't know. I'm wrestling with it. We'll see what happens next year.
Thanks for sharing that. Coke Studio, this is your first time in Kenya.
Yeah.
So what are you bringing into this game? What are your plans?
My plans, as far as the music that I'm producing while I'm here, you know what? I'm not trying to change the world. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm just trying to make some quality music. And if that quality music plays a part in the saving or changing of the world, cool. But I'm just trying to get out here and work with some people that are passionate about this craft the way that I am, and I feel like I found that in these 5 artists, and do something that the world is going to enjoy, and not just enjoy, but remember. I want you to play this song back 10 years from now and still get into it.
Okay, thank you so much. We've been talking to NeYo, hanging out on the red couch on 101 with me, Lillian Mooley. Thanks for watching.
What's going on, everybody? This is NeYo, and you're watching 101 on Citizen TV with the lovely Lillian Mooley.